start with the lesson number 1 of EVS, that is the ecosystem. So here I will tell you the meaning of ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? An ecosystem is a group of plants, animals and other living organisms that live together, feed in the same surrounding. Both living and non-living organisms come in the ecosystem. How many types of ecosystem are there? There are 2 types of the ecosystem: natural ecosystem and man-made ecosystem. Our environment is an example of the natural ecosystem and aquarium is an example of the man-made ecosystem. The next topic is the flow of energy in living things. The flow of energy in living things. The sun is the main source of the energy, as everybody knows. From the sun, the energy is transmitted to the plants and then to the animals and human beings. So main source is sun. Omnivores are those who eat both plants and animals. The organisms which eat both plants and animals are known as omnivores. For example, monkeys, crows, bears. Next is carnivores. Carnivores, the animals that eat the flesh of the other organism or animal, is known as the carnivores. So, in this type of the food chain, herbivores are eaten by the omnivores and omnivores are eaten by the carnivores. In this way, food chain takes place from one organism to another. One organism is eaten by the other organism. In food chain, scavengers also comes. These are the birds and the animal that feed on the dead bodies of the plants or animals. For example, vultures and hyenas. These are known as the scavengers. There are 2 types of the food chain: aquatic food chain and the forest food chain. In the aquatic food chain, same process takes place, that small water plants are eaten by the big water plants and then big water plants are eaten by the fishes, then small fishes are eaten by the big fishes. In this way, the food chain takes place in water also. That's why it is known as the aquatic food chain. Aquatic means water. Next is forest food chain. In forest food chain, same things happens. Herbivores are eaten by the omnivores and omnivores are eaten by the carnivores. Next topic is interdependence between the plants and human beings. How plants and human beings are interdependent. Plants and human beings are interdependent as plant gives us so much of the things, as plants provide us the raw material like cotton, fruits, vegetable, which are very much needed for the survival, and especially oxygen. The main reason for the survival on the earth is oxygen, which plant gives us. So likewise, we are also dependent on the plants and plants are also dependent on us. We are so much dependent on the plant and they give us oxygen and we give them CO2. As O2 is essential for us, likewise CO2 is essential for the plants also. That's why it is said that we are interconnected. Next topic is how plants make their own food. Plants have the green leaves. The substance that make the leaves green is called chlorophyll. This helps plant to prepare the food. Plants get water and mineral from the carbon dioxide. The chlorophyll present in the leaf traps the energy from the sunlight, and this energy is used by the plant to make their food. While making food, leaf gives out oxygen and this process is called photosynthesis. Leaf gives oxygen and takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Here, photo means light, as I have told you earlier, and synthesis means putting together. So in this form, plants make their own food in the presence of sunlight, air and water. So from this equation, we can easily understand how plants make their own food. CO2. Plants take CO2 from the atmosphere, and when water is added in the presence of sunlight in the form of energy and chlorophyll, that is a green color pigment, it gives us food in the form of glucose and oxygen. Like this, plants make their own food. Here, green leaves are called food factories or kitchens of the plant, as they make their food for the plants. Now we are going to discuss about the food web. In the food web, what happened? Most of the living organism eat the same food, same type of the food. For example, a rat eat grain and insect also. So food chain and food web are interlinked. Now I am going to show you video on an ecosystem.
An environment is everything that surrounds both living beings and non-living beings. Each living being needs a specific environment that fulfills its needs in order for it to survive. Both living things and non-living things make up an ecosystem. An environment has a specific climate that determines an ecosystem. Plants and animals conform the living parts of an ecosystem. The non-living parts are the air, soil, and water. Some animals may live in the same ecosystem, but not on the exact same place. For example, birds live on trees, snails live between plants, and fish live in water. Each of these animals has their own habitat. There may be a frog population or a fish population. Together, they form a community. Living things of an ecosystem depend on one another. For example, bears eat fruits to gain energy. Once they are done digesting the fruit, they drop the fruit seeds into the soil after excretion, allowing new plants to grow in that specific location. There is a great variety of different types of ecosystems on Earth. Ecosystems can be divided into two groups: land ecosystems and aquatic ecosystems. Here are some examples of land ecosystems: desert, grassland, coniferous forest, rainforest, and tundra. Here are some examples of aquatic ecosystems: freshwater ecosystems and saltwater ecosystems. Over time, an ecosystem may undergo natural changes. These changes may be caused by humans building houses or by animals constructing shelters. An ecosystem may be destroyed either by fires, earthquakes, floods, eruptions, or any other natural disaster. These changes may cause many damages to a species and can even lead to its death. Ecosystems provide humans with many unique and useful resources. However, humans must take care not to overexploit ecosystems because many of the resources within them are also vital for the survival of many species within said ecosystem. Think about the many different ways in which you can help to protect the ecosystems near you. What can you do to help?